Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Debonair Dialogue. I want to start off by thanking you guys so much for the support, for the comments, for the likes, for everything like that you've been doing to support me and to support the show and all of my guests that have been on the show. Today I'm super excited to have another fellow, I guess we could say podcaster. Is that a word? Is podcaster a word?
I mean, it can be.
We can make it one.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. So another fellow podcaster. So this is King that we have with us today. So King, say hey to the people.
How you doing? How are you?
I'm glad to have you
I
here.
appreciate you for having me here.
Oh, no
I'm
problem.
excited.
I'm glad to have you here. So I've been like following and watching like your platform, and so we're gonna make sure that they like give them like your Instagram handle and like all of that, so that way they can follow you.
So I'm King. I have my podcast and also my morning radio show is The Royal Couch, DAROYALCOUCH. Make sure you tune in every Monday. My radio show is 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and my podcast is at 9 p.m. So make sure you tune in.
Two questions. When am I going to be on the radio show? And the other question, answer that one first and I'll give you the other question.
Okay. Let's set it up. I have calendar set out for March, so let's set up something for April.
I think I'm open in April. So
let's do
I'm open in April. But I want to know, so what, and just watching your page, watching your lives and your radio show and things like that, you have a good following. You have like the audience engaged and a good buy-in. So I want to know what prompted you, or what was your motivation to say, this is the lane I want to get into. I want to get into podcasting. I want to be a voice. I want to have a platform. What like got you in that realm?
Honestly, the party scene. So let's take it back. I've always wanted to be in radio. Mm-hmm. I've always wanted to use my voice for something. I just didn't know how, where, when that was going to happen. I come from New Jersey, so, I didn't have I had a lot of dreams, but I didn't really see a future.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Coming from the hood and different things like that. So progressing forward, when I was 17 years old, I became working a part of this promotion group for the clubs. Mm-hmm. And I did a lot from promoting to door to door to a little bit of DJing when the DJ wasn't there. Mm-hmm. I ended up being a booking manager for that, which I got a lot of my contacts from, managers and talents and stuff like that. I had moved to North Carolina, and in Jacksonville, North Carolina, there wasn't really much of a party scene. So me and my friend at that time decided to start throwing parties, whatever the case.
So y'all created a party scene.
We tried to anyway. And the thing about that, I'm always into marketing. So, and it's funny too, because before, the pandemic and before like podcasting really like blew up, mm-hmm. I was thinking of ways, how can we market our parties? How can we get the audience to be engaged with us so that they will want to come to what we're throwing. Right. So that's where it kind of started. I had a friend from a show that used to be on Bravo called The Prancing Elites. Mm-hmm. And I asked him if he could get in our first video. And we ended that live with about like 2,000 like active viewers like watching and tuning in, and it was a really big deal. So that just started the whole roll. And my whole thing is, once I focus on something mm-hmm. and I get into it, it snowballs. The snowball effect.
Right. Yeah. So what is your goal for yourself, or what is your vision for your podcasting, for your radio show? Like what do you want to see? What would progressing look like for you, or what would the next level look like for you?
So the next level would be media correspondence.
I could definitely see that for you.
I want to take my platform. I love entertainment, right? Mm-hmm. But I feel like I have a really strong and influential opinion, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think like the sheet, right? I have my own, and usually a lot of my opinions are not the popular one, right? But I feel like it has to be said. Right. So I want to get more into, political, lifestyle, really talking about things that are important to me.
Right. Substance.
Right. So, progressing looks like, different programs like, let's start off in Atlanta, like 11 Alive, and, different things like that. Like,
and what's 11 Alive?
Like a news station where, they'll have like, media correspondents come on and talk about different topics or, certain things that's going on in politics and your views and different things on what's going on different policies or different things. I was recently on Fox Soul, which is, part off of Fox, the black version of Fox, whatever case may be. And we was talking about, the Brittany Griner situation. So I'm really more into things like that. Good Day America, Good Day Atlanta, that's where I see myself going.
I see that for you too. Yeah. I see that for you. And I'm glad that you're on the show now before you get there. So that way when you get there, I can be like, oh, I know him. He was on my show.
And I'm hopefully come back.
Yes, exactly. And then hopefully like you'll bring me on your show and bring me to the places that you'll be. But I love that for you. So one other thing I want to talk about, what do you feel like has been your most memorable moment? And I'm going to call it a career in this part of your career. What has been the most memorable moment? Like whether it's taught you something, whether it was a guest that like completely like the conversation between you and that guest, like completely like, had everybody in their feelings. Like what was one of your most memorable moments since you've been podcasting doing your radio show?
It's funny because I just been recently thinking about my journey because I don't do that too much, right? I don't usually pat myself on the back or realize the moments that I do have. Like I have to wait for people to tell me like, oh, wow, that was dope. That was cool. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say my most memorable moment, honestly, is being recognized for awards I was recognized recently for the Boss Babe, 2 Boss Babe awards that I'm nominated for. But even before that, I was nominated in a Charlotte, a city I used to live in, and another place. And I feel like those are my most memorable only because being recognized, being seen, being heard, I feel like is very important. And
for the right reason.
For the right reasons.
Because there's so many people that want to be seen and heard
for the wrong reason. Right. No, definitely. Right. And to be seen for my talent, to be recognized, especially my the where I was nominated in Charlotte, I had moved there. I only lived in Charlotte for a year. Okay. A year and 3 months or so. And I went there, guns blazing, and to be seen and to be noticed, even in that small time frame, you know what I mean? And of course, it's throughout my whole work, but for Charlotte, they recognize people in Charlotte. So, it was really my work that I've done there. I don't know. It just made me realize that I wasn't alone in this and that it was a purpose. You know what I mean? I wasn't just doing this. This wasn't just a hobby. Right. Like, you know what I mean? I see myself, but also people see me the way I see myself.
Right. So that's a really good point that you brought up, because I feel like in this line of, work, in this line of, podcasting and like everything, like you want viewers, like you have a platform, you want people to watch, you want people to be impacted, blah, 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 blah. So what is something like, if you've ever felt like, dang, like it's not taking off as fast as I want it to, or, something like, what would be your advice to someone who's starting off fresh when you first started off? Like, to where they're like, oh my God, I only got a couple views. Like, this is tough. Like, I got to stay consistent, but it's tough. Like, what would be your advice to be like, okay, stick in there. Like, you got this, like hang in there. What would be,
I think you kind of said it at the end there. Consistency, right? I feel like that's going to be your greatest attribute in anything, in any entrepreneurship, right? Yes, you have some of those people that kind of take off as soon as they start. Mm-hmm. That's really rare, though. You have to just be confident, know, and educate yourself. You feel me? I feel like a lot of people do things because other people are doing it or because they see what comes with doing that. You get the recognition, you get the guests, you get to meet some of your favorite people, whatever the case may be. So I would just say consistency, 1, and 2, educating yourself on your business, on your craft, knowing it 110%, knowing yourself in your craft. I think that's very important.
That's powerful. Yeah.
I think once you figure out what you're supposed to do, I think everything just is like butter on this, it's like spreading butter. It's so smooth and easy, and things just start to, again, snowball effect and just start to fall in line. Definitely.
Okay. All right, good. That's really good. So I want you to ask me a question if you have one now. If you don't have one now, you can ask me later. But remember, I told you I like all my guests to ask me questions.
Yeah, definitely. So my question for you is, what made you start podcasting, and how and why do you choose the guests that you have?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good one. So I started podcasting. I was a part of a group. And I remember when they recruited, it was like, this guy was like, hey, I want to start a podcast, a gay podcast, in Atlanta. And if you're interested, like send your bio, send like a headshot, like all that. So I'm like, this would be cool. Like that, honestly, like I didn't think too much into it. I'm like, this would be cool. So I sent like all my info. He ended up selecting me. And then me, him, and the other guys like met up and we started our podcast, like, and once I started doing it, I'm like, wait a minute, like this is a platform, like I have a voice, like, so not only are we going to sit back and like kiki and laugh, but, we're going to talk about serious things. And I feel like I haven't had the hardest life, but I feel like we've all been through something that's impactful to somebody. We've all been through something that people are going through right now, whether they're our age, whether they're the younger us, whatever, so I felt like, wow, here's another opportunity for me to have a voice. So I'm a teacher, so that's my career. So I feel like even with that, like that is like my voice, that's my platform. Like, I'm literally daily impacting these students. Like I spend more time with them than their parents do because they're in school, like literally all day for 5 days a week. So it's like, that's my voice. So being able to be on another platform is like, wow, like the world can, get what I have, receive what I have. Like I can pour into, I could deposit, but I can also like be fun and like kiki and lay back. So that kind of like, once we started going, I'm like, oh, this is definitely my lane. This is something I love. Like I definitely want to continue doing it. So then after that was over, I was like, I still want to do this. So I started my own podcast. And since then, like, it's just, for me, it's been like a continuum of like, just like going up. And it's like, I'm not diminishing where I was with the group because obviously that got me here.
Of course.
So I'm not diminishing it, but it's like having a platform, having a voice, and like getting into this lane, it's like I'm taking off. Like how you said earlier, like it's a snowball effect. And as far as the guests that come, like a lot of my guests, like I'll reach out to them. And some people reach out to me, and the people that have reached out to me, it has worked to where it's like I would have asked you. You know what I mean? Like if you didn't ask me, I would have asked you type of thing because of the chemistry of the show and the intent of like, that other person's content, if they have content, or watching that other person's Instagram or that person's Facebook, like, so it's very intentional. And I said I wanted the difference to be with my last platform, I think it was more so of everything, right? We laughed, we did everything. This show, we do everything, but I need there to be a takeaway. Like from every single show, I need there to be a takeaway. I don't want us to sit here for 30 minutes and nobody can take away anything from what we've said, So I think that, and I just love it. Like I love the conversation. I'm a person that could literally talk to anybody, and I'm very much an extrovert, but I need my time alone to like chill. I want to just watch TV, be by myself. I don't want to talk. Leave me alone. But I'm very much a people person, but I need that time for myself.
I can relate to that.
Okay. So Okay.
Yes,
okay.
I definitely. Most people think that I'm more social than I really am.
Okay.
Like, my perfect day has nothing to do with a lot of other people. Like, you know what I mean? And most people think because of what I do and, I've been in the party scene, my career is I run a club, you know what I'm saying? So I everything of my life looks like a socialite and an extrovert, and I can be,
right.
But I love my alone time, or, even just with my fiance, like we can just be home and just watching TV all day. And like I'm okay with that.
Right.
Like I'm very much okay with that. I don't have to be out everywhere. I don't have to go to this place, that place, and whatever the case may be. Like,
and I think that it's a matter of like realizing like certain people pour into people and people like, take from you, like not even intentionally, but people like pull on your spirit and pull on your, like, so like we need those moments to replenish and refresh. And I find myself like, even like coming back from a vacation, it's like, oh, I've been around so many people and like whatever. It's like, I need to just like get me back together. Like I need to recharge, I need to replug, put on my spirituals, maybe like, and recharge and replenish. So I think that's where a lot of that solitude comes from, is just trying to replenish, like get yourself back together. You did mention fiance, and your fiance is here in the studio. Yes, I met him earlier. So tell us a little bit about how you're able to have a fiance now, in a sense of like, dating, gay life is crazy, right?
No, it is.
Atlanta is crazy.
It is.
So when you have something like that, you want to cherish it. And I feel like people that, are engaged and married, I think that they're very fortunate. And it's something that takes work, a lot of work.
No, it does.
So tell us a little bit about how y'all got to that journey of being
definitely.
engaged. Yeah.
Which is still a journey, right? He is my fiance. He's the love of my life. Like he is like the stop, like he is the end goal for me, right? But it is still a journey, right? And I'm still learning him, he's still learning me, because we're still learning ourselves, right, as we grow and develop. It works because it's supposed to work. It works because we also make it work. I feel like love is a flow, but it's also a guided flow, and I feel like people forget that. I feel like people forget that things happen, people are people, feelings are feelings, and everyone's experience is different. And the reason why we work, and has been working for almost 6 years now, is because we don't allow the outside activity to come in to our house. Whatever our problems are our problems, have nothing to do with anybody else. We have no cheating issues, we have no other people issues. We have me being an asshole, not being very very much affectionate as I should be, right? But these are things that we work on, and I feel like that's most important. We're not quick to leave or abandon each other because of a dislike or because of an argument, and it's arguments, sometimes it gets heated, sometimes it gets, course. Like we feel like we want to leave, but once things heighten down, he's the only one. He's the only one that I'd rather be with, or even go through all of that with, what I'm saying?
God,
so
that is so special.
You said something about Atlanta, the gay scene. We were together. We never was in the gay scene. So it's crazy to say, but it's like we're not gays in that scene. So I feel like we don't
that's me. So
live that gay life. Exactly. So it's, for us, we're just two normal guys that just so happen to be in love with each other. Right. And so we don't allow that gay whatever that's out there to kind of come into our household. Like, you know what I mean? And also, we were together before Atlanta. We were together before, before I started really into my career, the Royal Couch and stuff like that. He's an artist, so he already had, and he's opened up for major people. He's already accomplished. He's been on charts and all this different things. All
right, well, I think he's going to be a guest on my show then.
Yeah,
that's what it sounds
streams. Like. Yeah, he's an amazing. He's stylish. He's an incredible individual. So we just connect and work, and we just. I don't know. It just is. He is just mine.
I love that. I love that. So where do you see your show as far as literally, if you could tomorrow, things could be different? What would you want for yourself or for your show? If you could be like literally magic wand, like this is different. Like I can name 2 things, boom. Like what would you say?
So if I can. So the King Show is where I'm headed to, right?
Did we give them your Instagram handle?
Yeah,
Say that? Okay.
The King Show is where I'm headed to, which is my own talk show, my own platform, bringing real people, talking about real things, kind of bringing back the old school talk shows. I feel like today everything is more bloggish and more.
So you mean like the Ricky Lake?
And the Ricky Lakes, yes. And Jenny Jones,
yes,
and
exactly.
Richard Bays and stuff like that, yes, Montel. Okay. Going back to that realm, I feel like there's a lot of there's a lot of new content out here that people are not grasping because we're just so worried about the famous and the influencers and the, you know what I mean? And there's
the looks,
the image,
right?
You know what I mean? So I feel like there's so much more content out here to be heard, to be recognized. And I want to be the person to bring that out. So if I could change anything from today to tomorrow, will be, you know, if I close my eyes, I can see myself on my talk show stage with my audience, you know, clapping, you know, embellish, you know what I mean? Me, you know what I mean? I'm ready to be the next Ellen, to be the next Oprah. You know, I don't admire, I respect, but I don't look up to or admire people like Wendy Williams or, you know, Perez Hilton or those type of people. Like, you know, I'm trying to go off to the Barbara Walters and you know, those type of people, the Montels and the Oprahs and stuff like that. Like that's the steps I want to follow.
Right. Yeah, we have a similar vision. Like I'm torn because I know that, like, you know, even though I'm teaching and, like, you know, I'm on the track to, like, my plan A is like being in education, becoming a principal, like that's like my plan A. But as far as like my plan B is like literally everything else, but it includes, like you said, like I would love to have a talk show. And I feel like this is kind of like a talk show, but I want it to be literally like every day. I have like my show comes on at like 10 a.m. every day. Like, you know, and I don't want it to be a Wendy Williams, but, you know, I would want like pieces of the Wendy Williams. So that would be, you know, it could be funny. But when you mentioned like the Montels and the people you were naming, it's because those shows had substance. So it's like it's not just a platform just to like come and have a good time. Like, you know, not just to gossip, but it's a platform, it's substance. And I think a lot of people don't really realize the power and impact that we can have, you know? So it's like, somebody asked me on the show, how do I remain neutral? Like, how do I like not say this, not say that? And it's tough, kind of, but it's really not. Like, I mean, I say it's tough because you don't want to say the wrong thing. However, you just have to be intentional. So it's like realizing the platform you have. So that means the power of your words, like, you know, that what it could do, what can happen. But being intentional to still be yourself, but also just be passionate, not really come at anybody, you know, like, and not say the wrong things.
No, I agree with that. That's exactly what my platform is about. First off, I spew positivity and light, right? There's a lot of negative things out there. I say, you want ratchet? You know, I've had, especially in the beginning of my career, oh, you know, you're boring. You're talking about stuff we don't want to hear. Well, if you want to go, you know, shady, go to the shade room. If you want to go to these other platforms, you know, go to Hollywood Unlocked, you know, salute to all these people, but they're here to blog about the mess, right? There's already platforms. Why am I going to talk about a situation with, you know, Cardi B if everyone's talking about that same situation that's petty or whatever? You could go there to go listen to it. So my thing is about spewing positivity, no bashing, no, you know, things like that, but speaking your truth. Right. And that's why I have the Royal Couch, my podcast, and then I have the Royal Couch Unplugged, which is my radio show. And the Royal Couch is what I started originally, and I'm very politically correct on there, right? I'm very, I don't really curse, you know.
You're neutral from what? Yeah, you're neutral.
Yeah, right? I'm neutral. I'm very unbiased.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you and your worst enemy could come on my show and y'all both feel comfortable with it because you know that I'm not going to have a side and I'm going to give you know what I mean? I've had it done plenty of times, right? So with that being said, I wanted to be a little bit more because I have a strong opinion on a lot of important matters, right? And I felt like the Royal Couch really wasn't the platform for that because it's really to give flowers and to appreciate the person behind the name. Right? Because everyone values the name, but no one really values the person that helps make the name, right? So, you know, I'm King as the name, but I'm Juan as the person. And many people don't know that. Many people don't know him. They just know King of what they see. You know what I'm saying? So Unplug, the Royal Couch Unplugged, my morning show, I wanted that to be more raw and uncut, right? More you, authentic, right? Not more me putting on for the camera. And I'm real with the Royal Couch, but I'm more putting on, right? Because I want to.
You're more political.
I'm more political, right?
Political, right?
So politically correct. So on my morning show, I'm going to tell you what I feel, no matter how you feel, right? I'm not a Republican, but I do have conservative beliefs, right? I teeter more on the conservative side, because I agree with a lot more policy structure and things that's going on that side.
Don't mention any politics because I don't know nothing about politics.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, you know,
I was gonna say don't.
But like, just to say, like, you know, a lot of my opinions, like, you know, like, I'm not a Trump supporter, but I do support some of Trump's policies and different things that happen. You know, just different things. You know what I mean? That you know what I mean. I just had a thing that I posted about child support, and it's going viral on TikTok right now. People are clipping it, and people are talking.
What did you say about child support?
Well, it's really off of a clip. Okay, so there's a guy that went viral that he has 7 babies by 7 different baby mamas, but he's a Rolling Stone, right? He likes to have sex with that, and these women weren't his girlfriends. These were like one night stands, like one hit it quitters. But these 7 women, you know, got pregnant.
Right.
This happened other times, but those other people, you know, he's talked to. Hey, I'm not equipped to be a dad. I don't want to be a dad.
Right.
It's not that, right? So
and they had the babies anyway.
And they had the babies anyway, right? He even offered to pay for abortions and stuff like that. Not saying that you should, whatever. Okay. But, you know, these women use that my body, my choice.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
So my thing is,
oh God,
right? My thing is, if it's your body, your choice, make sure it's your pockets too. Because why doesn't my ask or my opinion matter when it's supposed to? But now that you're going through hard times and you need extra money, now it's now it's I need my dad, I need this and this and this, but you ain't need me. When it was your body, your choice.
Right.
So what is it? Your body, your choice, my pockets?
Right.
So that's on the verge of what I was saying, right? So I didn't agree to him having to pay child support, right? Okay. So, and I mean, people are not happy.
The reason I'm going to say that I agree that, I don't know. Oh my God. People are going to hate me. I don't know. I'm torn. But what I will say is that, like, y'all both fucked.
No facts.
Like, so my thing is like, yeah, your body, your choice. For the man, no, you don't want a baby right now, but y'all both fucked raw, clearly. And we all know what happens when, like, I mean, come on now. Like, we know what happens. So my thing is, you know, and it's like not judging anybody and we've all made bad decisions. We've all been like tipsy before, end up having sex, whatever. But you know what happens when you fuck raw, like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, yeah, your body, your choice and things like that, but your body, your choice before you lay down and have sex too, because that counts too.
No, that
the plan
count.
B the next day, I feel like if I was a woman, I would no, I'm not about to say that, but
right, yeah, no, but I do agree to that sense of and you know, I made a statement saying that, you know, I feel like the woman should be a little bit more cautious on who they lay with, right, or have more precautions
type of guy, right?
On, you know what I mean? So make sure, like, if you're going to be out there having sex, make sure you're on birth control. Do the proper things that you're not going to risk getting that if you're going to do it raw and stuff like that. Right. You know what I mean? A man, I hate to say, a man's going to be a man, is going to think with his whatever. So I need you because you're going to be the one pregnant, right? It is your body.
Exactly.
You feel what I'm saying? So because it is your body, I need you to take a little bit more. Us as men, we're not that we don't think about it, but it's not in our forefront because we're not the ones getting pregnant. Right. So we don't have to sit there with the consequences of our actions. You know what I'm saying?
That's deep. That's deep.
You know, the women, I feel like because you are pregnant, I just think you should have just a little bit more of a safety measure when it comes to who you're laying down with. And if you are laying down with multiple people, make sure you're safe and protected so that nothing outside of pregnancy does not happen.
Right. I agree. That's deep. So we're getting ready to wrap up. So I want you to go ahead and give them your Instagram handle again. Let them know about your radio show, where they can follow you, where they can see you before we close out. So look into the camera and tell them.
So again, my name is King. You can follow me on The Royal Couch. That's DAROYALCOUCH. And make sure y'all stay tuned. I got a lot of things coming up this year. Make sure y'all stay tuned for the award show, April 30th. I've been nominated for. Make sure y'all stay tuned for my talk show coming out soon.
And me being on your show.
And make sure he's definitely coming on my show. Definitely. And make sure y'all tune in every Monday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on the Royal Couch Unplugged, where we end your morning right on Hits 92.3. Yeah.
All right. And with that being said, I want to thank you again so much for being on the show. Like, this has been an amazing interview, an amazing experience. And I definitely want to have you back. And I'm going to be on your show, but I want to have you back. And I appreciate your words and literally everything. It was a great conversation. You guys know that I hate to wrap it up. I just want to stay and talk all day. But I want to thank you guys again for tuning in to another episode of Debonair Dialogue. And we will see you guys next time.
Peace.